Fake meat isn't fake news, not when the F in KFC stands for fake chicken from Beyond Meat. Our correspondent was at the one-day test in Smyrna, Georgia, where vegan history was made. She lives to talk about it next on the PETA Podcast. Welcome to the PETA Podcast. I'm Emil Guillermo, your host for this behind-the-scenes look at PETA, the largest animal rights organization in the world. Here we talk to the key players at PETA and the movement and ask them about how animal rights change their lives and how they stay motivated to make the world a better place for the animals. On today's episode, the F in KFC is put to the test. A one-day test of fake chicken at a KFC in Georgia shows the demand is there for vegan fast food, and our correspondent was there.
The crowds and the lines, and I was so excited I got to be a part of it because I feel like it's a huge step forward, and I feel like we're going to see more vegan chicken popping up, and it's just the more fast food options we get, the better, and that was a big first step to get to attend.
Britt Poteet is the PETA correspondent. She was in Smyrna for an historic day for vegans. Her sense of the scene and how KFC's fake chicken compares, that's next. But first, thanks again for joining us here at the PETA Podcast. Please share a link with friends. Let them know the animals have a voice on the PETA Podcast. And if you just found us, welcome. And keep binging. There's lots to listen to on the PETA Podcast. Your questions on veganism, the latest in all the dead horses in America's horse racing industry, frank conversations with PETA founder Ingrid Newkirk. It's all available 24/7 wherever you catch your podcasts. Now, if you really want to help the animals, you can always hit the Donate Now button at PETA.org. And if you're high-tech and have Amazon's Alexa, it's as easy as saying, Alexa, donate to PETA. And now on to our story. KFC conducted a one-day test on Tuesday in Smyrna, Georgia. Our social media correspondent, Britt Poteet, was there to taste the cruelty-free KFC, her review, and how she heard that vegan history would be made on the PETA Podcast.
I saw it was being posted on Twitter, and then I saw it was posted about in the PETA group chat, so I knew it was an actual thing, not just some random rumor that was swirling around.
How far is Smyrna from downtown Atlanta, say, for people who don't know Atlanta?
Yeah, I would say 20 to 30 minutes without traffic. With traffic, you never know.
Is it a good place to test to see if vegan chicken is, in demand?
Yes, it's right by the baseball park where the Braves play, and there's a bunch of bars and a place called the Battery that's very popular. So there are a lot of people around that area.
And so when did you get there and what did you see?
Well, I got there around, I'd say 10:45, but I couldn't actually see the restaurant yet because traffic was backed up so far. So the first thing I saw was just the crazy lines.
Lines? Was it tens of people, 100 people? What did you see?
I would say hundreds. I know when they counted at one point, they said there were 150 people in line right when I was. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there was way more after that, of course.
And they said they sold out in 5 hours.
Yeah, I barely made it. They sold out 15 minutes after I got mine.
Wow. So you got there, what you said you got there around 10:45. And when you were able to order your food and get it, how long did it take?
I mean, it took 3 hours waiting in line. So, I mean, it was 40 minutes sitting in traffic just to pull into the parking lot. And then I'd say 3 hours just to get my food once I was in line.
And were all the people there for the vegan chicken or were they there just because they were hungry?
It was the vegan chicken. I mean, I feel like people that didn't want the vegan chicken avoided it because it was bright green and there was a billboard about the vegan chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, bright green. Usually KFC is the standard red and white, but on this day it was green. Was that
yes.
Sort of made it special, huh?
Yeah, it definitely stood out.
What was the buzz? You were waiting in line. Were people talking, oh, I'm so glad they're having vegan. What were they saying to each other?
Yes, people were really excited and they were really happy it was Atlanta that got chosen instead of Los Angeles as usual. So most of the people there were very, very excited to try it.
And what kind of things were people saying? Were they longtime vegans, new vegans? What was the buzz?
I'd say it was a mix. I saw some people there from different organizations, kind of like PETA, but then I met someone who was pescatarian, so she wasn't even fully vegetarian, and she was excited to try it to look for more options. And then an older person in front of me did it for health reasons, so it was a big mix.
What would you say was the predominant age group that was part of that crowd? Or how would you describe the demographics of the people there?
I would say 20s, early 30s was the majority I saw, was on the younger side, but there were a few people. The gentleman in front of me looked to be in his 60s. So it was a mix, but most was 20s, 30s, I'd say.
And they were all there just to get the Beyond Meat vegan chicken because of what they heard in the news.
Yes, everyone knew about it. That's exactly why they were there.
And so they waited in line. You waited in line. You finally got your chicken. Your vegan chicken. What did it taste like?
I mean, I haven't had actual chicken in years, but it tasted like chicken to me, at least from what I remember. It tasted pretty similar.
Mm-hmm. How does it compare with the vegan chicken that's out there? I mean, there are other products out there, other fake chicken products that some vegan, some not. But, as far as I'm concerned, it's easy to replicate the chicken taste far more than say it is, then you can replicate, say, the beef taste or the bacon taste. You gotta make it a little salty, but the chicken taste is fairly easy. What did you think in terms of all the vegan chicken or meatless chicken that you've tasted during your time as a vegan? How would you rank this on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high?
I would say 7 or 8, around there.
And why?
The texture was pretty on spot. It was more of a meaty texture than some of the other ones. Some of the vegan chicken has been almost like slimy to me. This one, the breading was right. It was actually crispy on the outside.
Now, were these nuggets?
They had nuggets and wings, but I heard the wings were just the nuggets basically in sauce. I had the nuggets, so that's what I tried.
So, but no fake breasts or no fake, thighs and that kind of thing. No, it was just a nugget.
Yeah, just nuggets.
Because, the nugget, sometimes if you have chicken nuggets, I don't think it's easy to distinguish or to tell if you're really eating chicken or not, if you're eating the real thing. I mean, when I last had a nugget, I don't know if I could tell the difference between a fake nugget and a real nugget because the fake nuggets are so good. If you get some of the fake nuggets that are out there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Nuggets weren't really real chicken to me anyway, even when I still ate meat back in the day. So yeah, nuggets are really easy to fake.
So you were the critic. You only give it a 7. What did some other people give it? People who were there.
Well, I asked the one girl who I said was pescatarian, so she still eats meat sometimes. She said she really enjoyed it. She's trying to expand more options and lean more into veganism. So she really liked it. My friend that came with me also isn't vegan. She said it tasted like a potato chip, which I still don't understand what she meant by that. So she was not a huge fan, but she still loves chicken. So
do you think that most people you talked to, though, were swayed? They stood in line. Did they seem happy or upset?
Yeah, most people I saw seemed really happy. Even waiting in line, the people coming out of the restaurant, we'd ask, and they all said it was really good. So the majority I saw, people thought it was pretty good.
How about as far as the people who are meat eaters and the people who are anti-vegan? Was there a counter protest? Were there people there critical of the whole thing, criticizing KFC, criticizing people in line?
I saw one person kind of laughed and shook his head and I think said something, but that was it. On Facebook, I definitely saw a few really negative reactions saying, leave Kentucky Fried Chicken alone. And it's like, you can still have your chicken. They're not taking yours away. Like, I don't know why you're so mad about this. It's a good thing for animals and for vegans.
Yeah. And when you were there in line and when you got up to the counter, were there still people ordering regular chicken as well? Or was it all pretty much, this was a day for those fake chicken nuggets?
I didn't see anyone order real meat. I just only saw Beyond Chicken.
And that's a good thing. the people at Kentucky Fried Chicken, did they come up to you or did you talk to anyone? Were they like pleased to see the turnout or did they mention anything to you about the turnout?
Yeah, I talked to a few employees. The girl at the register said it was a great turnout and that the test went really well. And everyone seemed generally pleased with the response that I
Mm-hmm.
saw.
There's some talk that maybe Kentucky Fried Chicken might take this to other cities to test. But just based on what you saw, do you think they have more than enough information to go on that if they put out chicken nuggets, fake meat, vegan chicken nuggets that it wouldn't be a problem that they've got a winner?
Oh, I think so. They sold out in 5 hours, so I feel like that's all the evidence you need.
Did it feel like you're part of history at all? A vegan history?
It really did. I told people I couldn't believe the crowds and the lines, and I was so excited I got to be a part of it because I feel like it's a huge step forward. And I feel like we're going to see more vegan chicken popping up, and it's just the more fast food options we get, the better. And that was a big first step to get to attend.
Would you describe it as a scene? Was it a scene to be there? Because, just to go and see a Kentucky Fried Chicken, instead of the red and white, to see green and white, that must have been eye-popping, huh?
Yes, I think it was a scene. I mean, everywhere you look, people were taking selfies and live streaming, just the fact they were there in front of the billboard. So I thought it was definitely considered a scene.
And so let's hope that what happened in Smyrna doesn't stay in Smyrna, huh?
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope it expands nationwide.
Tell me about you and your veganism. Were things tough early on when you became a vegan?
I've only went vegan almost 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's still fairly new to me, but even just 2 years ago, I mean, their fast food options were Taco Bell and Subway, and now you're seeing stuff start to pop up at more locations like Del Taco and now KFC. So even just in the 2 years I've been vegan, this is pretty amazing. So I can't imagine someone's been vegan for 10 years or more.
Oh, yeah.
To do this. Yeah.
Oh, well, if you've been vegan or even vegetarian, right, mm-hmm. for more than 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, like I have, boy, the options were ridiculous back mm-hmm. years ago. You'd actually go and say, give me a sandwich, but don't put the meat. And they'd essentially just give you bread and lettuce, and you'd pay full mm-hmm. freight. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but that's the way it was if you wanted a fast food meal. Thank goodness for places like Subway, because you can get salads and you get the Veggie Delight is good. You just leave off the cheese and it's totally vegan. But to see options now like the Beyond Beef at, say, Carl's Jr. or to see Beyond Meat, well, hopefully we'll see it at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Mm-hmm. But that's really something. Are your friends? Are they encouraged to become vegan, or when you became vegan and you said it wasn't that easy, it's now easier. Mm-hmm. Why did you become vegan? I mean, and did something happen, or did what happened today make you feel even better about your choice?
Well, I was vegetarian for a few years before I went vegan. And ever since I was 12, I wanted to do that. It just took me a while. Just for animals, just because I didn't like eating them. I feel like they have their own lives and they don't need to be slaughtered for us when there's so many vegan options. And this just solidified that because there's even more vegan options coming out. So, I mean, I was right to go vegan and vegetarian all those years ago. So,
how about your friends? Are they saying, gee, Brittany, yeah, I'm going to do this too now? Or do you find people saying that when they see more of this sort of thing happening?
I have a lot of friends that always want to try my meals and stuff. My sister considered going vegetarian. Don't know if she will or not, but I know she considered it. And my roommate always tries anything vegan I have. So it's definitely piqued people's curiosity around me. No one's gone vegan yet, but slowly maybe getting there.
Well, you're the light. You're the light among your friends, right? And you're also the light for all the PETA podcast listeners who, would have, I'm sure, if they knew that it was part of vegan history, they'd want to be there. They'd want to, it's not exactly like walking the moon to have a piece of, vegan chicken in Smyrna, but it is a first, huh?
I always tell people every small difference helps animals because collectively we're doing something big. It's just an individual step helps towards that.
All right. Britt Poteet, PETA social media correspondent. She was in Smyrna and she lived to talk about it. She only gives the Beyond Chicken or the Beyond Meat Chicken a 7, but it's still pretty good, right?
Yes, it's still worth having, for sure.
Britt Poteet, a PETA social media correspondent. She was in Smyrna, Georgia, where KFC conducted that one-day test for fake chicken made by Beyond Meat. Really, it's not an overstatement to say it was an historic day for veganism, considering all the years that PETA's been fighting KFC to get them to go cruelty-free, to get them to have better options and alternatives on the menu. This was a big day, and if it flies in Smyrna, I think we can be assured that it will fly elsewhere in the country. So, read more about what happened in Smyrna and about KFC and about what PETA's done in the past to force KFC's hand. And you can take action by telling them that you want to see more of this sort of thing. Go to PETA.org. And that's our program. You can contact us at PETA.org. Now, my wife's been working for PETA for 30 years, and she told me, my goodness, she remembers the first protest at KFC. This was a big deal at Smyrna. Hey, you can find me on Twitter at EmilAmok, that's EMILAMOK, or on ALDEF, AALDEF.org/blog, or on AMOK.com. Hey, once again, thank you for listening. Check out all our episodes on Apple Podcasts where you can rate and review the show. It helps get the word out about the issues you care about. You should know that our music is provided by Carbon Works. Check them out on YouTube. Thanks again for listening. Join us again next time for more insight into animal rights and the fight for a cruelty-free world on the PETA Podcast. I'm Emil Guillermo.